Hi everyone, this is Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. Today I'm going to be taking you through our 10 biggest mistakes that we've made in our first 3 years of homesteading. It is a perfectly dreary day to be making a video like this. So we run a 10-acre homestead here in East Central Indiana. We both work full-time and then do this on the side, but we have learned a lot in 3 years. We run a pretty diverse farm here. We have pigs, we have turkeys, we also have laying hens and meat chickens. Then we do also have a pretty large garden. Let's jump right in though to the things that we have messed up on in these first 3 years. Make sure you stay tuned for number 10 to learn how we lost $1,000 overnight. So the first big mistake that we made was not switching to bulk feed sooner. We were going to the store and buying bags of feed probably just about every single week there for a while as we started to get more chickens. We are lucky enough to live next to a mill where it's only about 15 minutes away. We actually buy a ton of chicken feed at a time now. It saves us about 25% and it really saves us a lot of hassle of having to stop at the store all the time to stock up. The second mistake that we made was buying a lot of those gimmick toys and supplies for chickens. We end up now having about 250 chickens, and so a lot of those just silly little things that work great for people who have pet chickens are not going to work on more of a scale for a business operation. So save yourself the trouble. Do not buy that stuff. It's just not worth your money. Our third mistake came with the garden. For 3 years now, we have been tilling the garden and then not putting mulch or cover over it. We're already starting to see the negative effects of that, and that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do here at this farm. So next year we'll be making some big changes with cover, either with plastic, which we don't want to use, but we will if we have to, or using mulch just to keep those weeds down. When you till and then don't mulch, you are going to waste hours upon hours every week pulling weeds, and that is a huge mistake. Our number 4 mistake, buying animals before the facilities are ready for them. We all have those good intentions, right? I'm going to order these animals and then that'll motivate me to finish that project. Don't do it that way. Trust me. Make sure your facilities are ready. I can't tell you how many times we're scrambling the day of or the night before when our animals come in. Sometimes totally by accident, but a lot of times it's preventable. Our 5th mistake is one that I feel is a mistake, but it's a little more controversial. My 5th mistake is that we didn't heat the coop at all in the winter. Now, I originally had kind of put my foot down about this of no heat lamps in the coop. I'm going to be a good chicken citizen, right? I've completely changed my tune on this after last winter. Last winter, we had about a 2-week snap where it was below 5 degrees the entire 2 weeks. We lost a significant number of chickens. And the other part people don't think about a lot of times is we ended up losing pretty much all of our eggs for those 2 full weeks. The eggs would freeze before we could get home from work. This year, we will be remedying this mistake, adding a very secure heat lamp or 2 in that we can just turn on in those extreme cold temps. Yes, your chickens as a general rule will be okay with cold temperatures, but when it gets to extremely cold temps, particularly if you have production breeds, they are just not made for that and they will need a little bit of support, and in our case, it's going to be in the form of a heat lamp. The 6th mistake's a little more generic, and that's just simply biting off more than you can chew. If you end up planting way too many plants or getting way too many animals than you have time or energy for, it's going to lead to dead plants, poor animal care, and just a whole lot more stress on your part. It's very important to map out before a season starts what you really can truly dedicate the right amount of time to. That way you're doing 100% effort on, say, 80% of the things instead of 80% effort on 100% of the things. The number 7 mistake is a lot more specific, and that is not checking on your animals every night. We have learned the hard way that every single night we've got to go out and get our hens in and make sure that they're set. Even if it's just 5 hens that stay out at night, in our case, we have a lot of trouble with possums and raccoons and foxes. And while we do jokingly call our coop Fort Knox, if they're not in there, it doesn't do them any good. So save yourself the trouble of losing chickens. If you're only losing a few chickens a week, of course, that really adds up by the end of the year. We learned the hard way we really needed to have a night check every single night. And if we're out of town, we arrange for that to happen even if we're not here. Speaking of going out of town, our number 8 mistake is not asking for help sooner. It is so important to build a system of people that you can trust with your animals. Thankfully now we have friends that we can trust. We have family around the corner that we can trust with the care of our animals when we go out of town. We've learned to write very detailed notes and to be very grateful and show our appreciation for those people. I think it can be a little daunting when you're building your own operation. That's your baby, but it's very important that you're willing to delegate and assign tasks to other people so that you can be a little less stressed out and be able to get away at least for a short weekend when you need to. Our number 9 mistake that we made was not diversifying how we sell our products sooner. So we ended up in a really tricky situation where we had been selling at a farmer's market for 2.5 years, and then all of a sudden that relationship just kind of fell apart. Due to some miscommunication, we ended up leaving that market. So all of a sudden now our main avenue of selling our products was gone. So thankfully since then we have put in our porch fridge, we have connected with more individual buyers, we've started looking at restaurants, and we've started actually a whole new farmer's market. But we should have had those backup avenues in place long before our relationship fell apart with the farmer's market that we used to go to. And so again, big mistake not diversifying how you sell your items. While it may not cover every single item that you need to sell, it's still important to have backup routes in case something does fall through. All right, as promised, our biggest mistake is saved for last here, guys. So number 10, biggest mistake, one word for us, turkeys. So last year we had our 25 turkeys like we've done a couple years now, and we had watched online and watched lots of YouTube videos, and everybody had these open turkey coop kind of ideas, right? A turkey shawl, saying that we only had to protect from predators from above, and turkeys were big enough and we didn't need to worry about protecting from other predators. We could not have been more wrong in that. Last year, actually right about this time in the fall, our turkeys only had about a month to go, so they were good sized birds by then. We lost every single turkey in one night. We still do not know what predator got them. We think it was probably domestic dogs. But of course, it could have been just about anything. It could have been a fox, it could have been coyotes. Nonetheless, we had netting in place, but their coop was way too open, and we have learned our mistake on this. We are currently fixing our coop for this year when we do switch them to the larger coop, that it will have walls and it will be a lot more locked down at night as we've done with our chickens in the past. So huge mistake, horrible moment for our business. We lost about $1,000 worth of product, and then just the absolute trauma of going out and finding 25 dead turkeys in the morning. I was here by myself that weekend, of course. So learn from our mistakes. Make sure you secure your turkeys no matter what you see on the internet. So those are our 10 biggest mistakes, guys. I hope you can learn from them. I hope you can avoid making these mistakes. Appreciate you watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want on your biggest mistake as a farmer so that our subscribers can learn from your mistakes too. This was Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.